Hey, welcome into DomTime. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Neil Zorin, TV critic for the Delco Times and Man About Town, is with us. We're talking TV because of the number of TV shows, just so many of them that are great out there, and when there's almost a death in the family, when one of them ends, my guilty pleasure, one that people can't believe, and I tell them, I love Parks and Rec. I really do. It's the anti-government character, I think, is a hoot. Amy Poehler's great, and the whole over-the-top inside this government bureaucracy that they mock and the characters have development. Do you have one that people would be surprised it's kind of a guilty pleasure?
Oh, I don't know. I guess my guilty pleasure would be, I always tell people I watch the Game Show Network to count the dead people. on the reruns. That's one of my guilty pleasures. Big Bang Theory is a guilty pleasure, even though I admit to being a nerd. It still is a guilty pleasure. I'm not a big fan of Parks and Recreations for the same reason I'm not a big fan of The Office. So we have different dramatic tastes. We're a good parrying team there. And the reason is because of the talking to this. I'm turning to talk to the set, talking right to the set, all the background information, but more it doesn't have a natural rhythm to it, and I think that sets me off. Now,
I'm a fan of shows that I just blow right past. I see the zombies on AMC. I'm not expecting any zombie talk show hosts, so I have nothing to worry about, to come in there. But my son started to tell me about it, and I trust his judgment, and he sold them. I love that when someone, if they don't do it too over the top, starts to wear you down and convince you, and then it dawns on you and you see it. But I can't get you. You're not a zombie fan.
I'm not a zombie fan. The movie I didn't like this summer is World War Z because it bored me after a while. You know, the clicking down at their teeth like that. I just thought, you know how it's going to end. Brad Pitt's going to beat them. 20 minutes before the ending, we find out how he's going to beat them, so we only have to wait to see if it works. And I just felt bored by that, as opposed to Man of Steel or some other things that might not have been as interesting in concept, but were more interesting in how they played out. And that's the same thing with The Walking Dead. I'm not as big a fan of that as a lot of people are. But there's no right or wrong about it. That's why there's a variety of shows. Because people can watch what they like, and the infinite variety, and there should be enough for everybody to watch something every minute.
Let's talk about it, though. I mean, they used to say, this is just the excuse of broadcast TV. Well, cable, they can curse. Tony Soprano can curse. You take away the cursing. Admittedly, they can take away some of that, and when they have to put it on and they have to drop stuff, it does lose a little bit. But it's the writing. It's the inventiveness of it.
It's all the writing. If it was just cursing, it would lose its novelty, number one, and would turn a lot of people off. If the expletives are not used in an authentic place and a character who would say them, they would turn people off. No, the writing in cable television today, in dramatic television that appears on cable today, is probably the best writing being done in the United States right now. I would say the best dramatic writing anywhere except maybe the English-speaking theater in England, in London. Playwrights do not have the same, or do not deal with the same topics, because within those shows, with all the characters, they can bring in so many things, and they do it so cleverly. Even a show that's gone downhill like Mad Men was so wonderfully written in the beginning. The Sopranos is the example for everything.
Right, you're not writing Mad Men. Why is there no Mad Men on broadcast TV?
That's the good question, and I think because the producers get better deals from cable. I think you have
more creative control too. You're the big guy. No Bahoff at CBS, ABC, NBC's telling you what to do. And you're going to them. You're the whole thing.
Exactly, and you don't have to go through a committee.
Right,
because Priscilla Goodbody all of a sudden doesn't like something, or because the pilot had a curse word in it, somebody walks out of the room, or they think children can't watch this, like children are hot house flowers.
No, this is a choice. It's our libertarian side coming through.
That's right.
That's what HBO and all these, or even AMC.
It's all a choice because we have 1,000 channels. I mean, even if you don't have cable, if you have basic things, you have thousands of channels to choose from. The horrible thing is sometimes there's nothing to watch on any of them. I wait for Ginger Rogers to show up so I have something I can look at.
That's pretty much. I'm trying to remember the last time I'm flipping through and there's nothing on TV and it's thousands of channels. That's pretty bad.
Well, I can't watch the news channels because I like accuracy in journalism.
There you go. Nice.
So I can't watch.
Well, there's always DomTime. You can watch that for a lot of things.
But I don't like reality shows because I don't believe the people in them, and also I find that why does anybody care about Honey Boo Boo? I mean, what?
That is the epitome. Now, reality shows, there was one exception.
Or the Kardashians.
When the Survivor was out there
Yes.
because it was fresh. Again, it's the fresh newness, not beaten to death.
Survivor.
And I remember the moment when Susan Hawk, I think, said, I don't care, to Kelly, you're lying there and birds are attacking you in the ground. I'd walk right over top of you. And Rudy, the first character from Survivor.
Right.
So when it's new, when it's fresh.
Survivor still works because Survivor sets things that set up life situations. Survivors, and it's a different type of reality show. You're not following some boring person who has an ordinary life around with a camera, expecting that life to all of a sudden become interesting.
Back to Attack on the Office.
Yeah, that's true. And in Survivor, but at least that's a spoof. At least The Office is a spoof on that. In Survivor, you have real people doing real things. Same thing in The Amazing Race. Even if I mentioned they had those crews there. Same thing in the shows where people have to entertain, especially Dancing with the Stars and American Idol. For whatever you think, or The Voice, whatever you think of them. Besides America Loves Them, people really do have to perform. They really do have to get the votes.
Exactly.
They really do have to pass the muster. A Kardashian. Come on.
All right, Neil Zorn with us. Great half hour tonight here on DomTime. Read Neil on thedelcotimes.com. Coming up, you may be able to keep your doctor when Obamacare. Notice I said may actually comes to fruition. I'll explain. Hey everyone, here on DomTime we've been following a lot of big stories, but I think the ongoing one that we'll be doing shows on and talking about is the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, finally getting near the finish line and everything playing out. So last Friday on the website of Health and Human Services, which will execute Obamacare, big question was put up there, will I be able to keep my doctor? You may remember the president, rightfully so from his side, has been out there saying, I'm going to tell you, no matter what else happens, if you like your doctor, you'll be able to keep your doctor, period. He kept on emphasizing period. Well, the answer from Health and Human Services was, you may be able to keep your doctor depending upon these exchanges, et cetera. Boy, that's a big word. I know I want my doctors. I want to keep them. And it gives me pause to tell you once again, this is going to be very confusing and very difficult when it comes to fruition. Hey, join me tomorrow night at 7, every night here, Monday through Friday on DomTime.